So we asked a selection of people actually on any tips we could give in regards to selling their property and how best to present it, what to do, what not to do, and a few of the things that we just wanted to share with you. So first one, Bex came up with this one, which was just to do with decor really, and it being a bit too personal. So what did you mean by that?
So I always look at things that people think may add value because they're used to being in their home and living in it. So I always look at things like depersonalising your house as much as possible.
So no pictures of grandma?
No, not unless you really want them to be there, and they're very obviously sentimental. It depends on your attachment to it.
Okay.
But I would say try and depersonalise it as much as you can and declutter, because you're going to have to do that anyway. It's an exercise that is going to be done when you go to sell, so why not start the process now?
Actually quite difficult conversations sometimes. Neighbours and your own property and its aroma, should we call it. So I remember years and years ago, I had a family selling a property. They had 3 dogs, doted on their dogs, totally understand. Wouldn't personally buy my dog a Christmas card or a birthday card, but each to their own. And it was noticeable. So I had to approach the subject about providing some Glade plugins or the equivalent. Other brands are available. Just to really stop that being the first thing that people notice when they walk through the door. And your neighbours, you know, for whatever reason, they might not love gardening, but people will look out of your bedroom window to see what the neighbour's garden looks like. And, you know, if you have a good conversation with them, even offer to do it if you want to, that can help, because we've all heard about stories of people looking over the garden and seeing a battered old car or a sofa or a washing machine there or whatever the case may be, and it's just not a great first impression. So if you can have a reasonable conversation with them, then that's something I would suggest doing.
Yeah, first impressions count, by all means.
Absolutely.
The other thing I always look at is DIY work.
Okay. Yeah.
So you know when people do certain upgrades, renovation work, things like that, I always say if you've got paperwork to back it up, then make sure you've got that documentation, because any motivated buyer want to have the confidence in your property. So if you've got all of that, you're going to be efficient in all the admin bits, then it will possibly get the sale progression going faster.
Solicitors often ask for documentation such as plumbing certificates, boiler installations, that kind of thing. So,
and if you've done it, it's a really good thing. So we need to promote that.
yeah, if you think it's in a box somewhere in the loft, then dig it out, because it could be needed more than anything else. Expensive tech upgrades. Obviously in today's modern world, we're all looking for the next new gizmo, gadget, whatever. Just because it's helped you in your own life, don't necessarily think someone else is going to feel the same way. So if you're going to install internal speakers, lighting that turns on as you walk up the stairs, Alexa demanding, etc., yeah, they're lovely, but do they add value? I think Bex and I both agree, probably not. It does show that you care about your house, I agree with that, but it wouldn't necessarily be something where 2 houses side by side would have a different value, one versus basic, one versus high tech, as far as that's concerned. Obviously there are extremes. We've all seen the sort of fancy garages with roller this and extras, but you know, generally speaking, tech's great, but don't think it's going to add value.
The other thing is about bedrooms. We go into a property and it's a 3-bed property, say, and the 3rd bedroom smaller.
Yep.
And they've decided they want to turn it into a dressing room, a games room, whatever that might be. Now that's brilliant, because we all like multifunctional rooms. What we want to try and emphasise there, that it's still a bedroom.
Yeah.
And that bedroom is going to add value to any, you know, active buyer that's looking to make the best offer.
A 2-bedroom house with a fancy dressing room is probably not worth as much as a 3-bedroom house. Even if bed 3 is a box room, as people like to call it, it's better to show it as a bedroom if that's what you're doing in terms of selling. So bedrooms count, and if you look to sell a 2-bedroom or a 3-bedroom, generally speaking, if it's 3 beds, it'll have more value.